I learned some things that we've gotten wrong throughout history because they were written incorrectly. I shouldn't even say a lot, but I learned some important things that the Bible got wrong, and it most likely seems that the lies were on purpose because of what Jesus actually represented. If Jesus, the Spirit of Jesus Christ, returned to spread a message of love to the world, it would have threatened the powers that be. So that story was flipped into making the return of Christ consciousness be a bad guy. And that's why it's so important. It's so important that they keep emphasizing, and I say they, but it's really just an idea. This idea that, it's going to be a trick and people are going to be tricked by the Antichrist. It's all part of the lie, all part of the manipulation. But the Antichrist, if you think about the word Antichrist and the word anti, I mean, we just assume that it means against, but the truth of that story is that it was intended to mean opposite, not against. So if you think about like a hero and an anti-hero, the anti-hero isn't really a bad guy. It's just not living the same, like, it's not quite the same hero arc. Like, it's not the same journey. Um, so my life and the life of this Antichrist character, I say character because I feel like I came here to play this role for humanity, because yeah, it's so surreal. That's how it feels to me right now. But if we look at it in terms of opposite of Jesus Christ instead of against Christ, we can look at it as man and woman. We can look at it as like the son of the father and the daughter of the mother, because God is both masculine and feminine energy. God is not a person. And the cross, the Christian cross, represents justice and mercy, which is the masculine energy of that. But in that saying, behind every good man is a good woman, the cross on the other, like the other balance, what balances that out is that the cross represents truth and love. Behind justice, there has to be truth, and behind mercy, there has to be love. And Jesus lived a life, he lived a sin-free life. He lived a good man's life. And I have lived through a lot of struggle, and I lived through believing a lot of lies, and I lived a life that was led by fear. So in some ways where Jesus lived a life of truth, I have been living, taking action throughout my life based on fear. So it's the opposite of Jesus' life. And it's not that I'm evil. Just like I have way too much food in my pantry. Like, those decisions to stock up on things were based on fear, not, it wasn't, to spite anyone else, but it was because I believe lies that, I don't have security. And where Jesus was rejected, like, this is something that we actually get to choose now. And Jesus was rejected when he was here embodying Christ consciousness. And the opposite of that, which is what it's intended to be, would be that when Christ consciousness returns, it would be accepted. And that society would, instead of crucifying that person, would lift that person up. And in doing so, the story of Christ consciousness first coming here through Jesus and then returning through me to open up a pathway so that more people can take that journey, it would be the ultimate story of how triumphant love can be, especially considering the powers that were at the time writing the Bible and transforming it to allow, evil to take over this role, and for God's love to come in and be able to transform the heart of the Antichrist that was born from the lies back towards a life of love. It really is the ultimate love story. And if we so choose it to be that, it can be that. And it can be a story of redemption and forgiveness that helps us walk forward into a future that's more loving and accepting of everyone. But again, we have to choose that together. I know who I am, and I know that the ending that I'm manifesting is in the highest good of all, but we all get to decide for ourselves what world we want to live in.